this extra term we need to add, that is the minus times this very thing. Minus in this case because it is opposite to that of the acceleration felt inside O. Okay, because so for that very term to get second law applied onto this very frame of reference S prime, we need to add an extra term minus m times a naught. Okay, this very force is called as the pseudo-force. For example, take the case if the particle is considered at rest in the frame of reference S. Okay, we have considered the frame of reference this S, and then extra frame of reference here it is S prime. We have particle here P. We have considered this very particle at rest with respect to this very frame of reference S, inertial frame of reference. So no force is observed inside the frame of reference S. That is here this equation A. So F will be equal to 0. Sure. So applying this very equation here, so we know F is equal to m times a prime plus m times a naught. These are all vectors. Okay. So applying here, we know the particle is at rest with respect to the frame of reference S. That means this very force is 0. That is 0 equals mass times a prime plus mass times a naught. Fine. So on rearranging, we will get here m times a prime equals minus times m times a naught. Okay, this is simple. So that means even if because m times a is the force, okay, and this is the pseudo-force here, and we will represent this very force F prime, that is the force experienced by that very body in the frame of reference S prime, that is m times a prime, will be equal to minus times a m times a naught. That means even if the particle P is at rest in frame of reference S, that is a acceleration is 0 inside the frame of reference S, even then the particle P experiences a force, which is this very stuff, this very force. And that very force is, it is not because some external force is applied onto this. No, it is because the frame of reference O prime is itself accelerated, and that very gives the origin to that force. It experiences a force which is called as the pseudo-force or the fictitious force, pseudo-force or fictitious force. So this very force is actually the pseudo-force. It is not somebody from the external side applying some force onto this. It is due to the accelerated frame of reference. Okay, that is S prime, because S prime is itself accelerated with some acceleration a naught, that gives the origin to that fictitious force. And if the acceleration is in this direction, that means the force experienced by that very body, it will be opposite to that. This is the meaning of this very minus sign. This means the opposite to a naught. That is, if this frame of reference is accelerated in this direction, then the force experienced by this very body will be opposite to that of the acceleration, and that very force is actually the pseudo-force. It is not some external body which is causing the force onto this body, but it is due because of the accelerated frame of reference. So that was the origin of force which is not actually the force, it is observed, because by applying the second law of motion in a kind of the wrong perspective, because this is not the actual force which is applied on the body, is only due because of the accelerated frame of reference. Hope you got this very concept clearly. If you have got any suggestions, any queries regarding this very thing, kindly comment in the comment section. I will see you in the next.